That wasn't very nice. But no, Jody, it is the truth. Like, it's 15 years, and, you know, I can look back to year one, and, you know, I can honestly remember the first 2 weeks. Becky Bonner, you know, came with me from Maryland. She was our GA at the time, I believe, and she agreed to me be my director of ops. And I can remember staying at the Galt House is where they put us when we got here, and after the first week, I can honestly sit there. We were in the room one night just sitting there talking, going, what in the world have we done? Like, oh my God, this is going to be, I don't know how we're going to make this work and change a culture to what we wanted to try and do. And now I can say it's been 15 years, and it's amazing what we've been able to accomplish here. I tell people all the time, you know, it went from let's try to have a good program. Let's try to have winning teams year in and year out, not just one good team every 4 or 5 years. And the goal was, you know, can we get to a Sweet 16 consistently? You know, because they'd never been to a Sweet 16. I think the program had been around for 35 years. And now the emails I get if we don't get to a Final Four, you know, are like, what in the world's going on? How have we lost it in the Elite Eight? So expectations have changed, and it's a great thing. And it's something we have year in and year out. It truly is. You know, our goals are fighting to get to a Final Four, because then once you get to that, then you've got a chance to compete to win a national championship.
How much does the contract mean, though, for you in moving forward with recruiting?
Well, it's big time, because the years are the most important thing, and that's what Vince, you know, and Dr. Bendaputi and Amy, they all understood was you have to have years, you know. And now that it's back to a 7-year contract, you're recruiting, you know, sophomores now and freshmen, and you're trying to get them to come to your program, because we're recruiting against elite programs as well. Recruiting hadn't gotten any easier. It's just you're recruiting against different teams. So to be able to go into a home and talk to kids and parents and say, hey, I've got a 7-year contract. I'm going to be here for 7 years, so I'll be here through your time, is important, really important.
Jeff, when you brought in Chelsea Hall, obviously to run point.
Yeah.
You have her kind of a facilitator. How did that change what you do offensively from last year when you had Dana kind of having the ball in her hands all the time?
Well, it really hasn't changed a bunch of what we're trying to do. It's just Chelsea is a different point guard. Dana scored the basketball and was very, very good at it. You know, she was a type, if we needed a bucket, Dana knew she could get us a basket. Chelsea, on the other hand, scores the ball well, but her first mindset is getting others the ball. She's done a remarkable job since she's been here, and I've been very impressed. She doesn't just throw to the person that's open. She gets them the ball in areas that they're able to score. You know, there's a big difference. You can throw it to a non-shooter at the three-point line when they're open. It's not going to result into a basket. She's getting the ball to people where they're comfortable and where they can score. So I've been very, very impressed with what she's been able to do.
Do you have an advantage when it comes to the name, image, and likeness stuff? Because, I mean, you have more of a fan base than most other women's college basketball programs, where you might be able to have some opportunities for kids that other schools might not?
You know, it's one of these now where, because of what we aren't allowed to do much as coaches, I can't go out and facilitate deals. I really can't have much to say about anything when it comes to name, image, and likeness. But what I am able to tell recruits is that we do average close to 10,000 fans. We've got courtside season ticket holders. You know, I'm not giving names, but I can tell them, hey, here's what they are in town, to show that we have business owners and leaders that are coming to our games regularly. They're season ticket holders. And then it's going to be up to them to be able to figure out how we can get into that market. And I'm hoping some things change here in the next few months of what we're able to do, to be able to at least give some guidance and help these incoming kids and our current players be able to navigate through this name, image, and likeness.
Jeff, you touched on this a bit at the ACC tip-off about the program's ability to kind of reload in that star, whether it's been Angel, Asia, Dana, over the years. It seems like Haley is kind of next up in that line as a leader. Do you see her embracing that so far and kind of that responsibility?
Yeah, she has done a great job. You know, no one's going to question her work ethic. She's the hardest worker I've got on the team. And I think nobody would sit here if you ask them all, oh, that's not true. She is. And now it's a matter of performing. She had a great freshman year. Now there's going to be more expectations and just more put on her plate. So I've been very impressed with what I've seen so far. And going into that, we've also got Kiana Smith. Mikasa is shooting the ball and scoring better in practice. She worked extremely hard in the offseason. Olivia, Emily Inksler. I mean, we've got a pretty good group here. It's not going to be just one person who's going to be our 25 a night. I think we've got, again, 4 or 5 that can get us between 15 and 20 on any given night.
How difficult is it for a player to go from being, you know, just a player on the team to the focus of the opposing team's scouting report? I mean, because Dana was kind of that for you last year. If Haley is that issue.
Yeah, I think it's one of those I mean, she was on everyone's scout report. It's not like no one knew who she was. So people already knew, okay, what she can do. And it's the same thing with Dana and Asia. They might be the one that they're saying, hey, you've got to stop them. You know, like look for them to score. But we've also got 4 other people that are capable scorers. And I think that's a thing that helps make everyone's life a lot easier when it's harder to double team someone when you've got others that can make shots. You know, that's one of the things we talked about. Somebody asked me the other day about UConn, you know, the times that we played them in the national championship game. I'm like, I couldn't junk anything up. I couldn't come out and play a triangle 2, box and chaser, or, you know, any type, because everybody could score. That's what made them so good. And I think that's what we're getting to is I've got players that can score from all spots, which then helps take pressure off of players that might be the ones that we're asking to score more.
Jeff, kind of off that, when you talked to Haley this year, what did you feel like she learned or took away the most from last year and playing with Dana?
Well, I think what she took away the most was just the pace of the game, the patience you have to have, and the importance of teammates. You know, everybody you play against is good. I mean, they're all on scholarship. And normally, the person who's guarding you was the best player on their high school team as well. So it's the challenge of the game. I think she's really enjoyed the process of studying the game, understanding angles, understanding opportunities, you know, the patience of coming off a ball screen and waiting for the screen instead of leaving too early to where you don't get a good screen and you're able to, you know, force a closeout, and then you've got to be able to score in small spaces, and she's really worked hard on that.
I guess when you have these scores, when you have these varied talents, how much of your strategy or approach this year is tailored to them, or how you tailor them to what you want to do? I mean, what's the combination there?
We adjust. We don't have we don't have one style of play. People ask me all the time, what's your style? Our style is to win. If we got to play zone, we play zone. If we play man, we play man. If we need to get up and deny, we get up and deny. We're going to change. I'm not somebody who's going to say players have to play my way. You know, you recruit different types of players. So we're going to figure out what works best for them, and then what works best for them is what we're going to adjust and use. Now, it's not like we're just throwing everything out the window and we start over each year, but we do tweak what we're going to run, how we're going to run it. You know, we might not have as many just on-ball screens this coming year because we don't have Dana and her quickness to create coming off of those. You know, we might now have multiple screens within, you know, an offensive set. So we're going to put these kids in positions to be successful so then we can be successful.
comfortable and having an identity for this team and having things kind of put in place the way, you know, you want them to play and just kind of the level?
Oh, yeah. Our practices have been going well. You know, I'm excited about it. Now, you know, next Thursday when we have our exhibition game, it could look terrible. You know, it's the one thing I always tell people, you know, I cut my own grass, and they ask me why. I'm like, because when I start, I know what it looks like, and when I finish, I know what it looks like. As a coach, you can practice for 3 straight days, and it looks great, and then you go play, and it's like, what the hell was that? That wasn't anything that we just practiced. You know, so I feel good right now. In first game, we'll see how it all plays out when you're playing against somebody different and the lights are on. But at the end of the day, as we progress, I feel really good about where this ball club has a chance to go.
Jeff, you really cut your own grass? Or is that just a story?
I sure do. You should come check the lines out. They're straight.
Jeff, you talked about Chelsea a little bit. Emily also comes from a Power 5 program. What has she brought to this team, and how does that ACC experience help her?
Well, she competes. She's a rebounder. She can score from the 3-point line, score in the post. She's good. She's just really good. I mean, she averaged close to a double-double at Syracuse. I told her if I can get her to get the mindset of wanting to dominate games, and that's not saying score every time or shoot it every time, but just to not take a play off, she could be a 18-13, I think, easily. Because she does things I can't teach. Her instincts for the basketball, her athleticism, her ability to contort her body in midair and not just run over somebody. She can rebound around people. Things that you just don't see a bunch of in our game. I just need to see her do that more often. And I think if she does, she can have a fantastic year for us.
Jeff, when you mix somebody like Emily with Mikasa and all the other pieces you have, where do you see this team's potential defensively?
Well, we have a long way to go with that end of the floor yet. I mean, because, you know, M comes from a program that plays zone. So she played zone every game for 3 years. So now she's learning to play man. So that's been a bit of a change for her, but she's doing a great job. And then for Emily and Casa, they're the 2 happiest kids in the gym because Casa's not guarding Emily anymore, and Emily doesn't have to guard Casa. You know, and they joke about it. It's like, my God, I hated when you guarded me. I hated to have to guard you. And for Cas, she's excited now because she's probably not going to have to guard all the 4 players. You know, I think she set a record in the NCAA tournament last year for getting a hit in the face the most. You know, I'd never seen a kid catch more elbows in the nose, go down, get back up, go down, get back up. So now at, you know, 5'10", she's not going to be hopefully stuck down there having to do that work.
With Mikasa as your only 4-year player, do you expect more of an on-floor leadership role out of her this year?
Oh yeah, she's always been a leader. You know, for the past 2 years, the way she competes, the way she practices, she's as consistent as any player that I've had within this program. Her effort, it's never she's having a bad day. She's having a good day. She does what Mikasa does, and that's compete. So yeah, our players follow her, they listen to her because they respect her.
Jeff, you mentioned she's improved really as a scorer in the offseason. What has she been doing to try and take the leap on that end of the floor to get better?
Well, it's just it's getting in the gym, and then it's shooting shots in practice you're going to shoot in games. You know, like I want her to make a free throw line jump shot, you know, a 15-footer. She doesn't need to be out there practicing threes for an hour. That's not what she needs to take right now. She needs to get consistent at that free throw line jump shot, a pull-up jumper, and then when that becomes consistent, then you gradually work your way out. But because she's always around the basketball, she creates so many second opportunities for us. If she can just make that 10 to 15-footer, it's really going to open things up for her.
How has Peyton her game kind of transferred from high school? And I know she spent a lot of time in and out this summer with USA basketball.
Now, she plays hard. She plays hard. Has not seen a shot she does not like. You know, so she is not afraid to shoot. I love her personality. She's got a great sense of humor. She takes me well. I give her a hard time about some things, and she's got a witty sense of humor, which I appreciate. But she's going to be someone that we're going to need to have play. She understands the game. She's got great size. She can rebound. She passes the ball well. She just does a lot of intangibles that we're going to have her on the floor for.
Do you have anybody? I know you don't like to brag about players. Single them out. But is there anybody that's really improved a ton? I know you have those off-season meetings and all that kind of stuff. Is anybody kind of taking a huge step forward?
Well, I've seen improvements from all of them, but I will say Chelsea is. I knew she was good. I mean, we recruited her out of high school. I knew she was good, but I can say she's better than what I had anticipated, what I had seen. We watched a ton of film on her at Vandy, and she's doing more now than what I had seen on film. So very, very pleased with her. Kiana Smith is really worked on her ball handling, on getting to the basket. She's attacking more. Yeah, everyone is gotten a little bit better, and that's what we had to have. Because now there's more expectations. And then when you add Peyton, Chelsea, and Emily, you've got three really talented players that are putting some pressure on your returning players.
Jeff, is there a previous team you've had that to make what this team reminds you of?
No. We're just different. Most of them we've had that star player back. This probably goes back to when Shoney was a freshman. We sat there and we go to the Final Four with Angel. We go 13 and 18, whatever we were, had a ton of injuries, and then we come back with that class with Shoney, Sharon Bale, Shantae Dyer, Antonita Slaughter, and Shoney really picked up a ton of the scoring and responsibility. So I'd say it goes back to that class. I'm expecting big things from a few players, Haley being one of them, Kiana being one. But in the past, you've had Dana, even though she had a huge jump, she was sixth player of the year. You knew she could play. And then you had Maisha was doing what she does. She was player of the year by the AP, I think the media, her sophomore year. And then Asia follows that. So they had a lapse of playing together, and now this is really the first one since that group.
Jeff, you mentioned Kiana. Where do you want to see the biggest jump for her, and how has she been taking over kind of a bigger leadership role?
Well, for her, I challenge her every day on being able to score from all areas of the floor, not just being a three-point shooter, putting the ball on the ground for a pull-up jump shot, getting to the rim, getting fouled. And then defensively is where she's really been working hard to keep people in front of her, use her length to alter shots, and she's continuing to improve in those areas.
Jeff, a lot of attention was made last year about the women's NCAA tournament and how, maybe everything wasn't the same as it was at the men's. There's been some talk of maybe having them both at the same site down the road. What are your feelings on that?
Well, it's got to be the right city. It's got to be a city that could handle both, because you're going to have a lot of people going into one place for the men's Final Four, the women's Final Four, and then how are you going to do the games? I think there's a lot of logistical questions that would have to be asked and answered. But if you get it to the right place in a city that could hold both, I don't think it's a terrible idea. But at the same time, I think we found out this past year that, you do have some areas that can put 64 teams in one area and make it work. So if you've got 8, and if it's right, I think it'd be an interesting concept to see how it worked.
Louisville, one of those cities?
You know what? I just don't know where we play except at Freedom Hall, because you can't play downtown because it's our home court. And the men, but Freedom Hall would be the only place you could do it in. I think, it'd be interesting. I think you could do something where you could have a women's Final Four in Freedom Hall and then have the men in Indy, where it's a 2-hour separation where people could get back and forth and see both. I think they did it years ago in Tacoma and Seattle, maybe in '88 or something, for the men and women, when the men were in Seattle, I think, and the women's Final Four was in Tacoma. So I think there are areas that you could do it. It might not be the exact same city, but logistically, media and people could go back and forth.
Outside of that possibility, are you satisfied with how the NCAA has responded or moved on all that, whether it's the branding of it all being March Madness or some other changes they've talked about?
Well, we'll wait to see what takes place. I mean, it sounds great. I'll wait to see how it all unfolds. I think actions speak louder than words. So we'll wait to see how this all transpires and how it all unveils once we get rolling into the NCAA tournament.
Jeff, you lose Dana, Chelsea, and Emily come in, but for the most part, your roster this year closer resembles to that of last year. What does that continuity heading into the season do for your team?
No, it's great. I mean, it's you're not trying to get 8 new players into the fold. Now it's you're looking at Chelsea, Emily, and Peyton. Sid is going to she's not going to redshirt, but she's trying to do volleyball and basketball. She's all basketball right now. So, and this is a newer thing for her, in the fact of she's all basketball right now. So she'll get some opportunities to play, but it's going to be more of a process for her. And then Lex, who reclassified and came in early, is redshirting for sure. So we're only looking at 3 players to have to try to get into the mix. All 3 are good.
Jeff, I want to go back to Keon real quick. There were times last year that when her shot wasn't falling, she kind of got stuck, and maybe she had an off game. How has she been with that?
That's what we've talked about. Is you want to evolve your game to where you're not just a shooter. Where if your three's not going in, then what do you do? So that's why she's really been working on putting the ball on the floor. She rebounded well the other day for us in a little scrimmage we had. So it's being able to show that, hey, if my shot's not falling, I can still contribute, make somebody have to guard me, and be an asset on the floor.
Do you expect Liz and Livia to kind of take that next step and assert themselves this year?
Yeah, no, it's going to be important for us. I mean, we're going to have to throw it into the post, and we're going to have to score the basketball. I'm not asking to score 20 a night. I thought O had a really nice freshman year. For a freshman to jump in the post and be asked to do what she did, I was impressed with her. She rebounded the ball really, really well for us. But I'd love to see her improve a little bit in all those statistical areas, and then at the defensive end as well. And Liz the same. I mean, she works hard. They both work hard, and I've seen improvements. You're not going to see them come out and dunk on Thursday night, but I think you will see improvements in their body, in their movements, how they rebound the ball and pass the ball. And I'm excited to see how they both do at the offensive end.
Will we see them together a lot more?
You'll see them together some. We've had some scrimmages, and I've talked to Liz about it. We scrimmaged the other day, and she picked up two quick fouls in the first 3 minutes. So I'm like, I can start you, but if you do that, now I'm stuck. I can't keep you on the floor. Emily's going to help, because she does bring us some more size, so I can play them together if needed. It's just a matter of who we're playing and what the situations are. I mean, we can go big with Liz, O, and Emily if needed. So if we play someone that's got great size, we can also match up better this year.
In the tournament, we saw a couple flashes from Alana. Have you seen growth?
Yeah, she's worked on her game, and it's one of the things that we've sat there and really stressed to her. You can't just be a flash in the pan where it's one great thing and then I don't say anything for 5 minutes. Her consistency is going to be what's going to get her into the game. It's going, you know, what can she do? She can defend the ball extremely well when she wants. And that's one thing that we talked about. That's something she's got to focus on all the time. And then she's got a nice, she scores. She's got a nice jump shot, a nice pull-up jumper. She's shooting a three better. But like I told her, it's hard to do those things if you're sitting on the bench next to me. So make your defense what you're known for, and then it's going to give you the opportunity to be on the floor.
How you doing with this birthday? You all right with it?
Are you kidding me? I tell people all the time, the alternative is not very good. I mean, I'm excited to turn 50 tomorrow, and then I'll be excited for 51. You know, I tell people, and they all say, I don't want to tell you how old I am. I'm like, why not? I'm all for it. I think I look good for 50.
Can't ask him if he's having trouble with it.
Do you feel?
Are you 60? How old? You look fantastic.
Jody really should.
No, it's great. No, I'm excited. I've got a big day of nothing lined up tomorrow. Just a day of relaxation. We're off.
Have you cut the grass?
I did that the other day. I've got to seal the back deck, though, so that's on the plan. I did get some grief for getting on the roof and blowing the leaves off the other day. I was told I don't need to do that.
You're getting up there.
It's not hard getting up. It's just when I'm up on the second floor, my neighbor can look up and see me from the kitchen window, and she's like, I just don't know if you need to be doing that.
At your age.
The prices are too high.